While making U-turns, we've all been taught to keep our head and eyes up and look where you want to go. And yeah, this technique is absolutely correct. But what if I told you it's okay to look down?
Wait, what?
In this video, we're going to talk about why it's okay to look down while making a U-turn and how this technique can actually help you execute your turns more safely and with greater precision. Now let's hop into it. All right, let's get one thing straight. When I say it's okay to look down, I'm not talking about staring at the ground.
It's a quick glance.
It's just enough to confirm your wheel placement to make sure you're on track. This small adjustment can make all the difference in the world while making a tight U-turn. You want to make sure you're using all the available space that you have. And in order to know you're utilizing all that space, you have to take a quick glance down. Now think of it this way. Using the available space ensures you're setting yourself up for success. If you misjudge and don't leave enough room, you're cutting yourself short and making the turn unnecessarily harder. Now I know what some of you might be thinking.
But Joe, I was always taught to keep my head and eyes up.
Yes, Chuck. Keeping your head and eyes up is critical 99% of the time. It helps with your balance and keeps you aware of your surroundings. But this is a calculated exception. A quick glance down,
we're talking a fraction of a second,
isn't going to compromise your overall balance or awareness. In my opinion, by not taking that quick glance down, you're essentially guessing where your front tire is, and to me, that's an even bigger risk. Now remember, it's a glance, not a stare. As soon as you confirm your wheel placement, your eyes go immediately back up. You turn your head and eyes in the direction you want to go, and then turn the handlebar. When you turn your head and eyes, your body naturally follows, and as a result, your handlebars start turning almost immediately. You definitely don't want to delay your handlebar turn because then you'll run the risk of overshooting the turn and possibly hitting a hazard if there's one in front of you. Now let's talk about why it's so important to maximize your space. If something unexpected happens, like a car pulls out in front of you, there's a pile of gravel in the middle of the road, or Finesse the Challenger walks out in front of you, you'll have more time and room to adjust. That extra time could be the difference between a clean U-turn and a drop bike, or even worse, an accident. In the lock and lean courses I've taken, they emphasize with proper setup, you'll always have more than one option in case something unexpected happens. Let's break it down with an example. Say you're in a narrow alleyway with curbs on both sides of the street. As you approach the intersection, you notice that the police have both directions of travel blocked off, leaving you with no choice but to make a U-turn. In this situation, you have two options for your setup. You can either immediately make the U-turn in the tight space you're in, or you can travel a little further to the end of the street where there's more room to maneuver.
Well, I'd just make the tighter turn. Plus, I like to show off for the ladies.
Slow your roll, Chuck. If you choose to make the U-turn immediately, you'll complete the turn but have less room and time to adjust if something unexpected happens. On the other hand, if you choose the second option, you'll have more space and more time to make adjustments if needed.
Well, Joe, I don't see any hazards. I'd still be a show-off.
Okay, Chuck. Imagine this. In the middle of your turn, Ryan Reynolds suddenly steps out into the street. With option 1, you see Ryan at the last second, forcing you to straighten up the bike quickly, apply the rear brake, and come to a sudden stop in the middle of the street. But with option 2, you've set yourself up with enough time to spot Ryan, adjust your path, and complete the turn smoothly without any drama. While both options avoided the accident, option 1 turned a simple situation into an oh crap moment.
Oh wow, I guess I never thought about that. Wait, what's Ryan Reynolds doing walking in the middle of the street?
I don't know, Chuck. Maybe he was on his way to the movie set. This is exactly why proper setup and maximizing your space is so crucial, especially in the real world. Both options still required proper wheel placement. Let's take a look. For option 1, you align your front wheel close to the curb by coming in at an angle, and this will allow you to maximize your turning space. For option 2, you align your front wheel close as possible to the back of the white truck. A good setup doesn't just make the turn easier, it gives you the flexibility to handle unexpected hazards with confidence. The best way to get comfortable with this technique, you guessed it, practice. Practice in a safe, controlled environment. Go out to the parking lot, set up some cones, or you can even just use the parking lot line. You could also set up a private lesson with me or come to one of my practice sessions. I know, shameless plug. Practice this by glancing down, confirming your wheel placement before you execute your U-turn. Immediately bring your eyes back up, turn your head and eyes in the direction you want to go, turn the handlebars, and finish the turn. Trust me, this has been a huge game changer, especially when I'm out practicing tight cone patterns. And in those tight patterns, you can't afford to lose any space or you won't be able to complete it. Now, while you're out there in the parking lot practicing, make sure to check out this video right here, and I'll give you some exercises that you can practice without any cones. As always, this is Jogo with Jogo Motorcycle Adventures, and until next time, ride on.